So we just enter, do whichever one you want to do, find your position, and let's just see which one kind of starts to come out. Alright, so now we've talked about using this double elbow entry and coming in here for an inside back sweep, yes? And so for what we're going to do now, I think it's best just to give you the easiest follow-up we have, right? And then this is where we're going to start probably the seminar this weekend. All right, is that from the sweep, all right, from this back sweep, I'm going to do what's called step through the base. I'm just going to take my foot and see the line of the mats over there? I'm just going to step right to it because that's probably going to knock him off base, okay? So when this happens, that's going to be your desired effect. But there's a little bit more going on than you might realize. When I do this, okay, whatever entry doesn't really matter. But when I do this, if I don't have a good frame of some kind, it's not going to work, right? If I just step, it doesn't work. So I need to steal his space, right? I need to put my torso where his torso was. We talked about that, yes? But how do I make that happen? Because I can just step and boom, and bump into him. Especially if he's a bigger guy than me, right? Ooh, bigger guy. Where's Russ? Russ, come on here, right? So from here, the same concept. When I go to do this, I have to have a good frame to send the bigger guy down. First frame I look at is my elbow, okay? So I'm in this position, I've done the sweep. Can everybody see my elbow tip is on his body? So I think about this. I make this shape, elbow tip out, so that when I move, my elbow moves with me, like a spear. Does that make sense? If I just leave this here and I move towards my arm, I don't get anything from it. I need to move it like a spear so it penetrates into his body. Okay? So from this position, my elbow's on him. Now when I step, it's going to push through. How's that feel? Sorry. So from here, I want to make sure that tip is there. Now when I step, I want to step past his foot. The second thing I'm doing for this particular handle is I have a different frame that's going on. Oh, I cheated on that there. See this frame here on the head? Talk about leaving it straight and I'll let it bend. So I'm using the elbow and I'm using the frame on the head to push to help seal the space. Okay? If I keep both of those and one fails, at least I still have one to back up with, right? So that's kind of a key focus there. But as long as I think in terms of steal his space, this will be a lot easier time for me. Now sometimes people say, well, you know, what if I don't step that deep? What if my legs aren't long enough? That's fine. If you can only step to here, then you can sweep the foot instead. Where's Nick? Do you remember the detail we talked about when was the right time to sweep?
Once they start to either place their hand out or if the foot crosses over behind.
Beautiful. Thank you, Russ. Can I borrow earlier? Yeah. So like when I'm doing this and I step here, as soon as he puts his hand on the ground, that's my place for the sweep. That specific detail I learned from Guro T. And when he showed me that detail, I was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Because, I mean, I sweep a lot. But looking for that moment that the hand just touches down to sweep, boy, that changed my sweep game. And that moment, that one little detail was worth all the time I spent, right? Just making sure that I understand, oh, hands down, boom, sweep happens, right? Now, the longer I let him keep his hand there, he's adjusting his balance, yes? Okay. The other one that we see, okay, is when the feet cross. Watch his feet. When the feet cross, that also lets me know that I typically have a sweep. You okay? So, with all of this, whichever method we use to enter, keep two frames. We have opportunity, yes? That should let us do right step to the base. If we only go to the foot, keep two frames. We come here. I have one where if he crosses his feet, I have a sweep. Oh, crosses. There we go. I have a sweep. You okay? Yeah. And then we have one where if his hand touches down, I know that's my other opportunity for a sweep. So it gives you a lot of places to go, a lot of places to play with. We try this? Okay? So we just enter, do whichever one you want to do, find your position, and let's just see which one kind of starts to come out and start to play with, starts to feel good to you. Cool?